All right, Laremy Tunsil. He told us last year on the show that he was going to go get the bag. Said Nick Caserio better be ready uh, to negotiate. And Laremy Tunsil, he gets a 3-year, $75 million deal with 50 mil fully guaranteed and 60 mil in total guarantees. So the Texans have locked up their starting left tackle, one of the best tackles in the game. He's going to be here for at least another few years, and you don't have to worry about that position with likely a young quarterback coming in. I think this is a win-win for the Texans. Very interesting. Going to be interesting to see how they handle the Titus Howard situation on the other side. How much do you want to invest at in the offensive line or in one specific position? And let's be honest, they're going to have at least 6 guys at this time next year. Well, maybe a month or 2 out on rookie contracts and first-year deals, and probably more guys than that. So you're going to be able to pay a little bit more. They're not in a situation like the Chiefs where your quarterback's making a lot of money. So you have to make the decision as to whether or not you want to pay these guys like franchise guys. They're in a position where you can pay a little bit more, and you can you can make moves like this. So Laremy Tunsil, there was talk about trade rumors. It seemed like it was kind of just more smoke with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to be a cornerstone for the Houston Texans. I think this is a win-win. Now the question becomes, is Laremy Tunsil going to be as happy moving forward as he was last year? There's a lot of people online saying, well, Deshaun signed his contract and then he wanted out, and Brandon Cooks, who we'll get to a little bit later on in the day, he signed his contract and then he wanted out. The Deshaun situation is a little bit different. When Deshaun wanted out, it was an incompetent franchise. It was a bad franchise. That was a consequence on top of all the off-field stuff, which I'll just put to the side. But Deshaun wanting out was a consequence of the sins of the past for this organization. And Brandon Cooks, that was just a weird situation where you had a guy whose happiness was tied to the worst front office guy in the history of the NFL, the POS, person of service, Jack Easterby. And that was just weird. There's no other way to put it. That was just really, really weird. Laremy Tunsil, he's about his business. We talked about this on the show, In the Loop, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, the Odyssey app. He just goes about his business, whether it's winning, whether it's, losing. He just goes about his business. Last year, he wasn't at organized team activities. He just showed up in shape, had one of the best years of his career. That's what Laremy Tunsil does. Laremy Tunsil is going to handle his business. He's going to be a guy in the locker room that leads by example. He's not going to get too in his feelings. He's going to stay level-headed, and he's the kind of guy that you like in your locker room. There's a reason they put the C on his chest when the Cook stuff went down. So Laremy Tunsil, a foundational piece, one of the probably one of the fan favorites right now, one of the most recognizable guys, one of the best left tackles in the league. Whoever the Texans decide to draft it to, they're going to have Laremy Tunsil blocking for him, not just this year, but for a few years moving forward. Good job by the Texans to get this deal done. Good job by Laremy Tunsil representing himself and getting this job done. He has done a very good job for himself, and it's going to be interesting to see what else the Texans do and how they handle everything else. So Laremy Tunsil gets his extension. He kind of hinted it last night. We saw him tweet out, there's some big news coming. I saw Aaron Wilson said, not everything that NFL players say is about business, just saying. Aaron Wilson was wrong. I think Schefter, Rappaport, Fowler got the story, and then A-Dub was on top of it too, tagged the agents as well. So Laremy Tunsil's coming back. Not a bad thing for the Houston Texans. They got one of the worst rosters in the NFL last year, but the one thing that they can hang their hat on is they got one of the best left tackles in football. Laremy Tunsil coming back. Laremy Tunsil, a very, very rich man. Laremy Tunsil, a happy man. It seems like Texans fans are happy about that. We'll get into the Brandon Cook situation a little later on in the day. Did Nick Caserio make a massive mistake with the way in which he handled the Brandon Cook situation? Spoiler alert, I think the answer is going to be yes. But Laremy Tunsil, he's going to be here. He's going to be blocking the blind side of whoever is the quarterback next year. And Texans fans seem okay with that. Subscribe, like, #1 source for Texans daily digital content. No matter what happens with the Texans, just remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we are all in this together.